Hello and welcome to my contribution for DLP25Stars. Top 10 Disneyland Paris little known facts, and these are really little known, trust me. I am your host Mark Peter, otherwise known as Fuse MP. You may know me from Dedicated DLP podcast, or also from the In My Disney Opinion IMDO podcast. And you can follow links that I'm putting all around the screen to get to any of those, also below. A few plugs: please do follow the Twitter account for DLP25Stars, it is DLP25Stars. Also, please have a look at the playlist below, and also a big thumbs up to yesterday's video and all the ones that have come before me, and also good luck to all those that are yet to come as we lead up to Disneyland Paris' 25th anniversary. And with that, cue the voiceover. And so, starting off our top 10 little known DLP facts, we're going to start at number 10, surprise surprise. And for this we have to go to Disneyland Paris. It's springtime, the sun is shining, the flowers are out. Disneyland Paris is just brimming with excitement. You're on Main Street. The mood is beautiful. Everyone's happy. It's sort of 2 in the afternoon, and a song hits, and a train appears, and well, you know the song by now. It's one of those songs that has sort of taken the community by storm, shall we say. It goes by the name of Sunny Bunny Land. It goes a bit like this, as you can hear in the background right now. And everyone's happy and everyone's dancing. Speaking of dancing, there is a dance squad going on in the hub. It's a whole sort of mob, as it were, of what's it, like a flash mob, shall we say. It's being led by the cast members, and they're doing this dance and a routine that no one needs to know. No one needs to see any gifts of, that's for certain. And everything's happy, everything's beautiful. Yeah, there's bunnies dancing on the floats of the train. There's maybe a Cheshire Cat if it's a Saturday. Everyone's happy, everyone's lovely. But, and here's the big but, little known fact. If you take this song that is so cheery and play it backwards, it goes a little bit like this. Yeah, not so cheery now, is it? It is what it is. I would suggest you don't. Let's put it forward again now, because quite frankly this is a little bit satanic, shall we say. So yeah, maybe don't let your kids listen to the song backwards. It might give them ideas. Keep it forward, keep it happy, keep it Sunny Bunny Land. It's number 9, and that means Willy. Yes, you remember Willy the Giant from the Mickey and the Beanstalk segment of Fun and Fancy Free. It was a segment movie. It was a bit of a tough time in the Disney studios. They made these little segment movies, but everyone loves Willy. Unfortunately, and some of you might not know this, but as we can see on his wiki page, Willy unfortunately died in September 1988, shortly after making his cameo appearance in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And it's a giant, it's a big body, not easy to do with anything, dispose of or bury, etc, etc. It's a lot of land. So Disney were able to take care of a lot of the meatier parts through various outlets such as this one. But the head's a bit crunchy, can't really do much with the head. Luckily though, the Disney Imagineers had an idea. They heli-carried the head over to Disneyland Paris, put it in position, and let it decompose there over the next sort of 4 years until Disneyland Paris opened in 1992. And as you can see by this, it slowly decomposed, and he lost his hair, etc, etc. And yeah, what we now get is Skull Rock that is in Adventureland and has the water going through it and everything like that, which is a lovely thing to see and a lovely memorial. Unfortunately, poor Willy, but just next time you go into Skull Rock and you're running around inside, etc, posing with the leftover of the brains like this guy, bear a thought for poor Willy and give him a quick RIP. Number 8, and it's time to talk about Disneyland Paris Dragon, the one that you can find underneath the castle. Bit of a moody chappy, doesn't like being woken up, has a bit of a roar, but normally goes straight back to sleep again. I think they keep him pretty well drugged. So there's two stories, and we'll keep them as stories because they're not the truth. I'm going to tell the truth in a minute. There's two stories as to the existence of this dragon underneath the Sleeping Beauty's castle. The first one, and the one that's told the most by Imagineers, is that this dragon, as a young baby, was discovered by the wizard Merlin, and Merlin, not wanting to kill the dragon or turn it into the authorities, decided to keep the dragon in the cave, locked up underneath his shop. And that's why you can go into Merlin's shop inside the castle. You can go down the staircase into the lair. That's how Merlin would go back up and forth, I presume, to feed him. And that's all well and good. But then we see the sign for the cave, the Letenier the Dragon sign. And, you know, here it is. And obviously, they are maleficent horns on top of the signage. If it's Merlin's dragon, why are there maleficent horns on the signage? That makes no sense. It also happens to be Sleeping Beauty's castle, and obviously Maleficent is a character from Sleeping Beauty. So that's another bit of, ooh, where does that fit in? But here's Maleficent horns, and here's Maleficent, obviously, same horns, and here's Maleficent as a dragon, and same horns on that dragon too. So a lot of people think that must be Maleficent under the castle, and it's a pretty good theory too, except one thing, it's green, and Maleficent is black and purple. So it can't be Maleficent either. It's a good story. It's a very good story, but it's flawed. Now here's the truth, and here's the only truth that there is. The only green dragon in Disney history actually comes from the 1941 movie The Reluctant Dragon, and that is the dragon that you can find under the castle. It's been a long time. It's old. It's old and grumpy now. That's why not the fun and fancy free sort of dragon that it was back in the 1940s. And it's spent a lot of time in France, and you'd all be pretty pissed off if you'd spent that long in France too. So that's the dragon. There's no Maleficent. There's no Merlin. It's just that old intellectual property from the 1940s was brought up. Let's go get that dragon, put it under the castle, and that's what happened. So next time someone asks you about the dragon, you can tell them to go watch The Reluctant Dragon from 1941, and that is the dragon underneath the castle. Number 7 on Disneyland Paris, little known facts, and we are talking Star Tours. Now, for those everyone probably knows, Star Tours closed in its original format back in March 2016. They spent the last year renovating it, giving it the new shebang, to make it Star Tours The Adventure Continues, and it's opening in March of 2017. And everyone's making a big fuss. It's got interchangeable scenes. You can get different starts, different first scenes, different messages, different second scenes. So it's lots of different combinations, and it's all in 3D, and it looks really good. But one of the big things about Star Tours The Adventure Continues is the amount of cameos that appear during the actual films. You might see Darth Vader, General Akbar, Han Solo, Jar Jar Binks, Princess Leia, BB-8, Sabula, Yoda, and a whole bunch of others. Sometimes they're right in front of you, and you're going to see them, and sometimes they're way in the background, and you've got to look really, really closely. Now, what's really interesting is that for this version for Disneyland Paris, they actually did some even more. They've snuck in ex-Disneyland Paris management. So if you look really, really hard, you might see Meg Crofton, or Philippe Bourguignon, or Katie Harris, or Philip Gass, or Tom Walber. You've got to look really, really hard. They're not going to be in the middle of the screen. They're going to be off to the side in the background somewhere, possibly in a bit of fancy dress. So look really hard. Make sure you look out for that DLP X management hidden away in when you ride Star Tours The Adventure Continues. Number 6, and it's time to get dangerous. And no, unfortunately, I don't mean Darkwing Duck, but I mean playing with swords. And I'm sure every family knows this sight. Your kid is up there, standing on top of the anvil, hands clasped around the hilt of Excalibur, trying to pull it out, and it just won't budge. And everyone wonders, oh no, not strong enough to pull it out. Unfortunately, it is fixed in there for a reason. Originally it wasn't, and you could put it out. There was an incident, shall we say. There's no footage of the incident, unfortunately. It's known as the Excalibur Massacre of 1993. It's very unfortunate, but if I show you this recreation of what kind of happened over these 3 images. Yeah, so due to that, the sword is now pretty much firmly fixed in. It can't come out again to sort of avoid that happening again. but little known fact, that's why. Disneyland Paris, little known fact number 5, and this is a big one. In March 2017, the annual passes at Disneyland Paris are changing completely. Gone are the old standard fantasy and dream, in with the new. And the new are things like Discovery and Magic and Infinity. And you've probably seen a graphic like this with the different perks of each of those passes. But what you won't see is you won't see what comes after Infinity, and that obviously is Beyond. Now, you won't see this on any adverts or anything like that. You have to actually go to the counter and ask for the Beyond Pass. You won't see it advertised anywhere. You might see comments about it on Twitter and Facebook, etc., etc. But officially, you won't find it anywhere. You've got to ask for it at the counter. And the reason, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You're going to get, for your price, for this one, you're going to get 455 days access to the park per year. You're going to get the priority premium parking, and that means you actually drive your car into Fantasia Gardens and park right at the gate. That's how close you're allowed to get. That's why they repaved it all last year, to make it for a car park for the Beyond annual pass holders. You're not only going to get a photo pass included, you're going to get the priority photo pass, and that actually means the photographer is going to follow you around the park all day taking pictures for your photo pass. Of course, you're going to get extra magic hours, but you're not going to get extra magic hours. You're going to get extra magic hours, even more time, just the Beyond annual pass holders in the park. Hotel discount, you're going to get 80% discount off your hotel stays. You're going to get 50% discount off of all merchandise, and you're going to get 45% discount off of restaurants. Absolutely stunning deals. You're going to get 50% off the Wild West show. You're going to be able to buy 20 premium tickets for your friends for €5 each. It's absolutely stunning. And you're going to get other benefits too. You're going to get private meet and greets in your hotel room. They're going to come to you at a time that is good for you. Parades, don't worry about the premium section for those Infinity people. If you're Beyond, you get to stand in the road. You can stand in front of anyone you want, whether it be kids, old people, people in wheelchairs, whatever. You can stand in front of them. Doesn't matter. You're Beyond. You can do whatever you like. And you're probably wondering, what's the price for all this amazing benefits? €499 a year. 499, just 100 more than the Infinity, and you get all those great perks. Now, of course, when this did break, when people found out about the Beyond, as they do, Twitter, as per normal, started complaining, because who's going to pay $4.99? You know, this is the sort of things on Twitter. But there you go. If you're interested in those sort of perks, make sure you go to the counter and you ask for the Beyond. They might look at you funny. They're not supposed to sell it unless they have to. Just make sure you don't go from Infinity, go Beyond. Number 4, DLP, little known fact. And for this one, we're going to take a little bit of a tour, just to prove a point here. Here we are in the Disneyland Park. We're on Main Street. As you can see, DLP is just celebrating its 15th anniversary, and it seems to be Halloween time as well, so good time to be there. If you're going to check out the 15th anniversary, do it soon, because I believe it's going to be closing any time, probably the next year. It went on for a little while, but it's coming to its end now. So we're going to come down here, down to the hub, and then we're going to take a left. We're going to go past the Lumiere sign there. Hopefully you'll get your picture of that lately. And what we're going to get to is the Frontierland entrance, and which you obviously all know about. But we're going to carry on around. We're going to go down towards Adventureland. And there's a person with a rope. Don't cross the rope. Don't cross the rope. Don't cross the rope. Oh, thank God she's moved it. There we go. It's okay. Carry on around towards Adventureland. Here we go. Doobie-doobie-doo. And there's the entrance to Adventureland. Now we all know that one too. Now the question is, if that was Frontierland and this is Adventureland, what on earth is this? Where's that come from? Where's that go? This seems to be like a pathway to nowhere. Adventureland's over there. Frontierland's over there. This seems to be a path into some trees. Does anyone know where this pathway goes? Seems a bit of a mystery to me. We come this way. Can we see anything from here? Oh, there's a person there. Now, they might be coming from it, but I think they're just guarding it to make sure no one goes in. Obviously, this is a very secret area. They've got a person guarding out front. Very interesting. Now, if we take it actually out of... we go to an overhead sort of view rather than person view. Look, it just goes into trees. There's nothing but trees there. So that's a bit weird, isn't it? Oh, very, very odd. Let's go back into the person view so we can have a look down there again. Just drop us down there. Whee! Back in we go. Ooh, funky. The interesting fact here is actually what happens at night. You know, at night when Dreams is over the castle, everyone's in the hub looking there. There's a lot of noise. There's lots you can do it under all that noise, because it's very noisy. There's bangs and there's music and there's bright light. So there's a lot you can do if you were to be hidden away in the trees like there. And what this actually, the fact is here, is down that alleyway, which is why there's probably someone guarding it, to be honest. But down that alley is actually a bit of a dogging spot. Happens during Dreams, so normally it's dark. There's enough lights from the flashes and the bangs and the fireworks and stuff. But yeah, that's a bit of a docking spot. So if you are looking for some action in Disneyland Paris and it's night time, and that's the place to go. Obviously, I can't show you a picture because you can't put that sort of thing on YouTube. There's other sites for that sort of thing, but not YouTube isn't one of them. Now, the way I believe it works is using Disney's light ears, as you can see here. Now, depending on which sort of mode you have it on, would indicate to the other people there whether you were a participant or just an observer. And that's how you sort of work it out as to who's up for it, who's not. But yeah, I still can't show any pictures. It's just not allowed. But yeah, so when you're watching Dreams, look off to the left. I mean, Dreams is finishing now, and I believe that's also why they finished the light ears, because they're hoping, without Dreams, without the light ears, maybe this sort of thing will stop. Maybe that's why they've got the person guarding there. Maybe there'll be someone there posted there more often. But yeah, interesting fact number 4. What goes on down that alley? Only the most adult of you and the brave of you might find out. Number 3 in the Disneyland Paris little known facts, and for this one we are going across to the Walt Disney Studios Park, the ugly duckling of Disney parks around the world, showing few inclinations of becoming a swan anytime soon. Yeah, the Walt Disney Studios Park is known for its rides that are world renowned, and it's very up to date and current backlot tour. But in all the mediocrity of the Walt Disney Studios Park, there's this.
Excuse me, this shot is not meant for you. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, wrong door.
Yes, it's Cinémagique, a gem of an attraction, a great mix of live action and film that really comes together. Takes you on a tour of love through films throughout the years, throughout the ages, classics and modern contemporary films. And it's a real classic. It's probably the attraction or the show that most defines the Walt Disney Studios and everything it should be. So imagine everyone's surprise when they announced just a couple of months ago that it's closing. As you can imagine, lots of people got a little bit upset. There was a few tears shed, there's a few strops thrown, there's a few toys thrown out of prams. But this is where it actually gets good. I've actually uncovered some plans, and this is why this is a little known fact, because it's not out there yet. But here's a sketch that I found, and here we can see the plans for Discoveryland. And as you can see, in the building that currently houses the Pixar short film festival, but previously housed Honey, I Shrunk the Audience and Captain EO, there is Cinémagique. Obviously, they're planning on putting it there. If anything, Cinémagique is actually getting a promotion to the real park, to the proper park. Also interesting on this plans is that Visionarium's coming back, so maybe Buzz Lightyear has seen his final days, and maybe that's a sign that we're finally going to get Toy Story Mania over in Toy Story Playland in the studios. But the Visionarium's one, we'll see what happens with the Visionarium. But there it is, Cinémagique is not closing down for good, it's just being relocated. Interesting fact, no one else knows it yet, now you do. Number 2 on the list, and this is going to make some people very happy, because number 2 is a bit of a pet peeve for many people and not a problem in Disneyland Paris. Don't you hate it? You're at a Disney park and everybody's smoking. There's people smoking where they should be smoking. There's people who are smoking where they shouldn't be smoking. There's smoke everywhere. There's people lighting up. There's people vaping nowadays too, which is just as nasty. But they're smoking all over the shop. Don't you just hate that sort of thing? Well, the good news is that Disneyland Paris is a smoke-free zone. You will not find smokers anywhere. In actual fact, there's smoking sections, as you can see from these pictures, and look, they're all empty. Not a single person in them, and that is because Disneyland Paris is such a smoke-free zone that even the smokers won't go to the smoking sections to smoke. So congratulations Disneyland Paris on being completely smoke-free. And finally, the number one Disneyland Paris little known fact. Let's set the mood. You've had a long day in the park. You get back to your hotel room, you turn on the TV, and you get this. Frontierland. Yeah! Yes, that's right. It's Sophie and her little known, well, it's not little known facts, that's what I'm doing, little known facts. She's doing things to know before you go and being annoying. Sophie is kind of like the Marmite of Disneyland Paris. You either love her or hate her. But the interesting thing about Sophie, whether you do love her or hate her, is actually no one knows anything about Sophie. She has no surname. You won't find her on Facebook. You won't find her on Twitter. You won't see her in anything else. And even if you look at a wiki page like this, it's completely empty. Sophie literally just does this for Disneyland Paris. And it's caused a bit of a thing. You know, everyone knows who's Sophie. No one knows. She's not made any appearances anywhere. She's not done anything else. People who do love her try to find her. No one can find her. Now, here's the little known fact. Sophie is actually an animatronic. Yeah, I mean, that kind of... Here's Abraham Lincoln. That's not Sophie. But look, if I do this, it's Sophie. That's Sophie. Well, one like her. It's actually thought that, like the droid out of Star Tours that here, Sophie actually came from the old animatronic from America Sings. This one was a goose that became one of the animatronics from Star Tours, and that probably explains Sophie's awkwardness and her shape and her positions and everything. She possibly was a goose as well in her former life. Don't believe me? Look, here's a picture from Disneyland Paris's warehouse, and as you can see, there is a crate in the back there with Sophie's name on it. That's where she lives the rest of the time when she's not being used to make new commercial bits for the things to know before you go. And here's a picture that we found, and actually there's a lot of rumour about this as to whether this is the original body of Sophie. Like if I put the head on, there we go. It's Sophie. Is that Sophie? We don't know for sure, but one thing's for sure, Sophie is an animatronic. And that is the number one Disneyland Paris little known fact. And that is going to do it for the top 10 DLP little known facts. Thank you so much for wasting the last 20 minutes of your life in my company. I hope you've learned something. I hope you didn't take it all too seriously, because obviously most of it was completely made up rubbish that I had for a laugh. And I hope some of you found it funny and no one's too offended. Do check out the other DLP25Stars videos. Trust me, they're taking it a lot more seriously than I did. But for now, thank you. Bye.